Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be on my friend Winlene's face. I used her today, so this is a little bit different. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'm just filling in her brows using the H&M Black pencil, and I'm not really making it thicker or anything. I'm just literally filling in the sparse spots and then blending that out using the spoolie at the end of the brush or the pencil. And then I'm just going to go in with some concealer and just clean that up because I did go outside the lines very little, and this helps it look amazing. And then I'm just going to prime her lids using the LA Girl Fawn concealer, and then blending that out and setting it with some translucent powder so that we could go into the shadows, and they're so seamless when blending out. I believe the first color that I used was Makeup Geek's, I believe it was Frappe. I'm not sure. I'll leave everything down in the description box below if I do mess up because I filmed this and I don't have any other products in front of me right now. But I know I went in with Coco Bear the second time, and I'm just blending that out and deepening up the look a little bit. I didn't use that many colors on her lids because I kind of wanted to be like an easy makeup look that she can recreate on her own. And I'm making sure I'm just keep going back in with a clean blending brush to go in after I apply the shadow so there isn't any harsh lines. And then I'm just really focusing that out of the outer crease because I want it to be more of a smoky, soft look for her. And one of the shadows I used is from the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, the Mono Renaissance, and it's the darkest brown. I forget what it's called. And then I used that bright orange that's in the palette just to brighten it up a little bit more. Then I'm kind of cutting her crease, I'm doing a half cut crease, not really even a cut crease, but I did this step so that the shadow that I'm putting on, which is the Inglot 405 shadow, and so it's going to pop a little bit more, and it's this nice kind of golden shadow that looked amazing on her. And then I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side, kind of cutting that crease and then applying that golden shade on top. And then I'm just going to go back in with those same colors and just blend that out. And then really focusing the darker shadows on the outer corners so that it's a little bit more smokier. Then I'm going to moisturize her face and also put some primer on in the center of her face. That was, I believe, for oily skin because she kind of gets oily in her T-zone. And then I'm taking the LA Girl Pro Coverage Foundation and Rich Cocoa, I think I used on her. And I thought it was so weird because it was my first time using a darker color on a darker client, of course. And I thought it was pretty interesting that it was orange when I first applied it. And then when I blended it out, it looked nice. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I'm not used to that. And then I just take that same concealer in Fawn and putting that under her eyes to brighten and conceal at the same time. And I just like using a brush and the sponge to blend that out so there's no harsh lines. And then I'm setting her under eyes using the banana powder underneath. And I'm really pushing the product into her skin. And first I just set it, and then I actually leave just a little bit on to bake. And then I'm taking my NYX Contour Palette and I'm contouring her face very little. And I'm also doing her nose, her little cute nose. And then I'm just bronzing up her face, and I forget what I'm using. I think I use the same contour kit, just a darker shade to bronze it up. And then I take my BH Cosmetics Professional palette and use a pink shade and then set her face with some finishing spray. And then I added some highlights. You know, you can't forget about that highlight though. And I'm just applying that on the highest points of her cheeks, her cupid's bow, and her nose. Then going back into the eyes, I'm using this, I think it's a shadow base. I just used it as a liner. And then I'm putting that in her waterline and then just going in with the darkest shade to smoke out her lower lash line. And then I go back in with just like a fluffier brush and that same color and just diffuse it so it's not really so harsh. And then I'm just gonna add some mascara to her eyelids or her lashes. And then while I was letting the lash glue dry on her lashes, I went in with Kylie's ginger liner and I just lined her lips and then I filled them in. And then I just go back in with, well, I then apply her lashes off camera because it took forever. Not took forever, but it, I didn't want to get that on camera. And then I went in with the liquid lipstick from Kylie and Ginger and just apply that and relined her lips. And that's the completed look, you guys. I hope you all enjoy. It was so fun doing this. I'll see you guys in my next video. Let me know if you guys want more tutorials like this. Bye.
And cut. All right.